what do you hope to see as the rec market continues to grow? Based on all the conversations you've had with growers and dispensaries and everything, obviously there's still a lot of room to grow and mature. What do you hope to see from all of that in the next 5 years?
Well, first of all, drop the egos. We're all killing it out here. So we need to just keep it up and share the wealth and be educational. These people that are doing it like this, think of the wealth of information they have to share with people.
Yeah.
Other states say. But we need to drop that. And then, half the industry is really good people are doing a lot of good things. One thing about our culture here is that we have a lot of people that like biodynamic farming.
Mm-hmm.
We get a big, huge movement for organic farming, big, huge movement for some sort of sustainable farming.
Mm-hmm.
People are now moving to where everything's closed loop.
Mm-hmm.
So now everything comes from the property. They're making hugel mounds and they're making, making them from dead trees and wood from their property. Mm-hmm. They're making their own food, obviously their own medicine. All this stuff is all just closed loop. So there's a lot of really good sustainable practices here. But on the flip side, those, the other half, I think those people need to step up and they need to start doing things like whether either it's sustainable or we've got this big issue with CBD and THC cannabis or hemp, I should say, where, hemp people are going to end up probably having pollination issues with other THC. So we need to get some sort of, I think like co-op, mm-hmm. maybe even an organization, a voluntarily nonprofit organization or something, or a co-op where we can get these two groups of people together and have some sort of synergy between them, even if it's just in this area. Yeah. So we can kind of work together as a team because that's, creating a lot of differences mm-hmm. there. And maybe these companies can start getting involved, like our podcast. As soon as we become profitable, we've already decided that there's going to be a certain percentage set aside for two places. One's going to be the ARC here locally, which is the Addiction Recovery Center. And then the other one is Refuge Recovery. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Refuge Recovery. Mm-mm. It's a different option compared to AA. But it is different. They're not religion-based. Mm-hmm. They're a Buddhist practice, but they're not a Buddhist-based religion. It's just the practices of Buddhists. There's a lot of meditation. There's a lot of, a lot of group counseling like AA, but they approach it a lot different.
Yeah.
And so both of those have had an effect on me personally and also on my family. So we're going to give back to those. And I think that these farms and stuff that are successful and are making mm-hmm. money can have an impact on our state community, whether it's with veterans or kids mm-hmm. or like we're going to work with addiction recovery. Now, that sounds kind of weird working with cannabis, but really it's not.
No, yeah.
At this point, I still stick with the fact or the argument that cannabis is not a gateway drug. In fact, sometimes it's a get out drug. In my life, it has been for me. I've left alcohol with the help of cannabis. And so, I don't think that it's odd to think of, Addiction Recovery Center and still being, cannabis, mm-hmm. Geared.
Well, I know a lot of like doctors and nurses that I'm close to have mentioned the same thing, that they've seen, that cannabis can be used as a very effective tool to help migrate substance use behaviors away from things that are more dangerous and damaging to your family, your own health, your responsibilities, obligations, and all of that, and get into a more healthy and intentional lifestyle. And that's really the focus. It's like, what kind of life do you want, and how do you get on that track and not on this other track that sometimes you don't even understand how you ended up on that track. But at some point you recognize, like, this is not what I wanted, and I'm having trouble just breaking some of these, different patterns of behavior that's built up over time. And I've also got some family friends back in the Southeast that are telling me that even, clients of theirs are using CBD products to try to help with certain aspects of this kind of thing, with anxiety-related issues around dealing with changing patterns of behavior, whether that be, just the way you spend your time and exercising, that sort of thing, or whether it's like dealing with substance use and that sort of thing. And if they're seeing some strong effects, it'll be interesting to see more research with that over time, so that it can be better understood how to best utilize cannabis as a tool for those purposes.
And I think that's important. I don't want to sound like, if you're a drug addict, that you admit yourself to a program and start smoking weed.
Right.
Okay. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like you just said, it can be used as a tool, and an effective tool. And people can go from abusing one substance to another. So you can go from abusing alcohol to cannabis. You can go from abusing, and without going down the rabbit hole, you can abuse anything. You can die from meat, and you can die from drinking too much water, blah, blah, blah. So, but to use as a tool, it is there and it does work. I will say this: you're better off if you've got a drug problem with something, even cannabis, you're better off leaving everything at first.
Yeah.
Leave everything, because you've got to deal with the main issue, and to deal with that main issue, you can't be on anything else. I do believe that. And people should take breaks. Let me just say this real quick. I recommend that anybody that consumes cannabis, with any regularity at all, that you take a break every now and then, and a significant break. There's a lot to learn from it. I took one. It was 5.5 months or so. It was November through into March, and which is hard when you're doing a cannabis podcast. But I took a break from everything. No alcohol, no Advil, no Tylenol, no cold medicine, no cannabis, nothing. Nothing. Tea. That's the only caffeine I'd have, is tea, and then water. And of course, I didn't change my food intake. I love my food. So,
Yep.
but I took that 5-month break, and I learned a lot. I learned, how I was without cannabis, because I already knew how I was with it. I learned, how I did things without it. I learned not how to enjoy it, but how I enjoyed things without it. I also learned coming back that there's things I don't want to do high, and there's things I do want to do high. Not just before, when I was a teenager, I just want to do everything high. So taking breaks kind of get you back to a baseline where you can actually analyze these things, and that's important.
Yeah.
And so taking those every now and then, and this is all personal. You take them as often or as little as you want, but it's just something you should look at and do it, and learn more about yourself on a sober level.
Yeah.
When I came back to it, I didn't realize how medicinal edibles are for me. I use them now as a big tool. Before, it was just an edible. Great tasting brownie, get high. But now I'm getting used to my dosages and where things work. Managing pain better with edibles, managing pain all day with edibles, managing sleep with edibles. And these are all dosage dependent.
I was going to say, have you honed in on sort of ideal dose and ideal THC CBD ratios and that sort of thing? Yeah.
I have, and I'm still fine tuning that. I did what you've recommended from the beginning. I've kept a log.
Oh, nice.
And it's a simple, when I get something, I just sometimes I'll even take a picture, throw it on my notes in my phone. And again, another method. You think, it's just, you do. You learn a lot from those little just snippets. And I've narrowed it down to where, here's one thing, there's a fine line between medical edibles and, you're seeing dragons. A real fine line.
Yeah.
And when you cross that line, most of the time it's not fun. But even before that line, you're pretty messed up. and you might sleep for a whole day. I mean, there's levels to this. And so for me, it's not just to take it and try to get high anymore, because it can ruin a whole day.
Yeah.
But if you get your doses down right and your ratio, man, it can really enhance. I believe, for me at least, it can enhance life in general.
Yeah.
I used to have to take sleeping pills on and off, and not heavy things. I'd take Benadryl or something like that over prescription Benadryl or something. Zero. I used to take anxiety medicine. Zero.
Wow.
So all based on just usually between 50 to 200 milligrams, depending on what I'm trying to tackle.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 50 to 200.
And that's milligrams of THC.
Yeah. And then ratio wise, 2 to 1 works great for me. Yeah. 1 to 1 if I'm really focused on tackling something big.
Yeah.
Like the reason we took a break from the podcast, we did take a little break, and I should mention this real quick. We went through this string of craziness where I broke my foot. Well, actually, I didn't break. Let me take that back. I popped 2 tendons. I popped one that goes on the top and one on the bottom. That's the thing. I almost wish I would have broke it, because I would have been in 6 weeks in a cast and then been done. Instead, I'm 6 months out.
Yeah.
Pain like you would not believe. And I'm not going to take pills. I refuse to take narcotics or opioids. And I wasn't going to take any Tylenol or Advil. So at this time, I'm just down in edibles like crazy. Anyway, after that, we found out that my wife was pregnant. Mm-hmm. So hurt foot, trying to recover, pregnancy. Oh no, that's not good. I mean, it is good, but oh no, that was not planned. And then, so right after that, I'm like, okay, well, we're in the midst of this. I'm just going to get my surgery done. There's a surgery I had to have done for many years that I never had done, and this was getting worse. And so I got it done on my wrist, and that was 2 screws. And so that put me out another 3-4 months. With all that done, we're back. So as you know, though, it's good that you're getting all your content, though.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah. Build up a bunch of interviews and trickle it out. Yeah. Life throws curveballs left and right for sure. That's, we just had our daughter almost 5 months ago, and it's been a roller coaster of trying to figure out what our new patterns of life even are. It's just like, it's like Boggle or something. It's like our life was this Boggle set that had all settled out, and then someone just came and shook it up really good. And
now you got to find a home for all the pieces.
Right. Yeah. Now we're trying to find new words and trying to get acquainted with this new landscape.